All right, welcome into Morning Brew with Chaffee and Razor. This is a very late night morning brew, as in very late, recording a couple of minutes around 2 a.m. Bruins beat the San Jose Sharks 3-1 in San Jose as the Bruins start their 4-game road trip with a victory in Northern California. A win that they had to have because this is a team that they are much better than, Razor. And I think that this is one, if they hadn't have won, it would have been one of those, after watching the game especially, like, are you kidding me moments type of thing. They had to come out and take care of business, and really that's all they ended up doing. They did just that.
They did just that, and it would just put a sour note on the road trip. Coaches would be mad and annoyed, and now you took care of business. You took the 2 points that most teams are going to take from this team. Someone's going to lose to them, and that's going to be disappointing for whatever team that is. But for the Bruins, pretty professional effort all the way through, and they get the 2 points. Now they go off to LA, and they start the season 3-0.
Yeah. So they've done their job. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. The schedule very favorable to begin for them. So far, so good. Just a reminder, folks, this Morning Brew with Chaffee and Razor is presented by Berkshire Bank, and it also is made possible by Fazenda Coffee and Apex Entertainment. But let's just quickly go through it. This is going to be a quicker brew, given the time and everything. But it's a good look. A lot of people didn't end up watching this game.
That's right.
Just flat out too late. So first period, really best period of the night for the Bruins. They came out flying. They came out determined. They scored their first goal at the 18:06 mark. They didn't get rewarded, even though they had great first shift. In fact, the Coyle line was great, and we'll talk about the lines in a moment. But Brad Marchand gets his first goal in the season. Beecher with his first ever NHL point on the assist, 1-0. 21 seconds later, James Van Riemsdyk scores a net front goal, hack and whack at it. Frederick and Coyle with the assist, 2-0 at the end of one. It's 3-0 at the end of two, after David Pastrnak at the 16:46 mark scores a goal after he made it a 2-on-1, but the puck ends up going, instead of passing over, he ends up trying to make a move, kind of drag the puck in. It goes off his stick, off of, I believe it was Vlasic's stick, coming across, off of Pasta's skate, off the post and in. Clean goal, legal goal, because there was no kicking motion whatsoever. 3-0 at that point. The Sharks do score one in the third period. Anthony Duclair at the 11:13 mark. They couldn't score after that, though. So 3-1 the final. The Bruins outshoot San Jose Razor 36-27. In particular, in the first period, 17-10 were the shots. And first period really was the best that they played. I mean, they came out. The Coyle line started things with a great shift.
They did. Jim Montgomery was giving it to the guys reportedly after pregame skate, after practice yesterday. They changed up the lines, so it was Charlie Coyle, Van Riemsdyk, and Trent Frederick who started out, and they won the draw, brought it right in the zone. A good opportunity. They actually had a wholesale change in the offensive zone. Marchand's line with Matt Poitras and Geeky. Morgan Geeky. It's that time of night. I'm trying to. And they come right out. First 2 minutes, everybody gets into the game. All four lines have played, and it was a really good, highly energetic first period from the Bruins, and they all had a bunch of pace. And we talked about it in the telecast consistently all night how the D was jumping into the play as well, and that's something that we continue to see, and it seems even more prevalent in their game this season. It seems, listening to Montgomery talk, that he wants more and more and more and more of it.
Yeah, it seems like they were pinching last year, no question, but it seems like they're even deeper to begin now. They're shrinking the zone, meaning between the offensive blue line and the top of the circles even more. They're making sure that they are low regular. I mean, we saw Hampus Lindholm probably 4 times below the goal line, if not more. Grzelcyk had 2 or 3. McAvoy had a couple. So I don't want to call it positionless hockey, but it's getting closer to that.
Close.
It is getting closer to that. They're keeping pucks alive. They're forcing the opponent into uncomfortable areas. They're doing that stuff. Let's talk about Matt Poitras, if only because we have to. Game 3 was definitely his least noticeable game. What was he in the first period in the face-off?
But he made a great play on the goal.
I was going to say, yes, he did make a great play, but struggled in the face-off circle.
1 for 6 in the first.
Right,
yeah, 1 for 6.
And he didn't end up playing that much. But he did make a great play on the first goal. He comes in, he does what he wants to do. He opens up. He's a righty shot, loves coming to the left side, but instead of turning into the wall, he opens up, shoulders are square to the play, head is up, creates space, actually spins, uses a backhand pass to rim the puck all the way behind the net, where Marchand gets it after a nice play by Geekie that you pointed out on the Nesson telecast to lift the stick of the opponent, keeps the puck alive, and then he goes off. And then Marchand ends up scoring probably about 10, 15 seconds later. But just to give you numbers, Poitras only played 12 minutes and 18 seconds. He had no opportunities whatsoever on that. He did finish 4 out of 9, so he was 1 for 5 after the first. He won the next 3 of his faceoffs. But are we at the kind of, all right, concern, or is it just the, hey, long trip, first time on the road, different line mates, with Marchand, not Geekie, that's been his partner, but with Marchand, is it more of just let's wait and see? I think it's a wait and see still. That's where we're at.
Yeah, not completely, no, but certainly the minutes were interesting. Lauko didn't play much. You would think that those guys, the bottom 6, would play more against the San Jose team, but it didn't seem to work out that way for this group. Huge bounce back. I mean, I've had this game for Matthew Poitras against LA circled the entire time, because this is going to be one heck of a test for him. So now, even more so, coming off, again, a good first period, but not winning a lot of draws, what he looks like Saturday night, and how he bounces back and how he recovers. Because, yes, I think we've talked about this. You're allowed to have one of these okay games, and of course, when the team wins, it's even better. You get away with it a little bit, but you can't have 2 or 3 of these okay games, especially going out west. There's big eyes on you, and I'll go all the way back to Patrice Bergeron just because of reference. He went out on this West Coast trip and he scored goals. Mm-hmm. He went out in LA, he scores a game winner, and he scores in Dallas. He's scoring at points. So that's the frame of reference. You have to go and really succeed and excel on this road trip to impress.
All right, you're right. But again, as you pointed out, he still got an assist. Now, it's not scoring. I know what you mean. It's only 12 and a half minutes, not even. But he still did something good.
He did.
And then that's important to remember and important to understand for everybody, self-included, in that maybe not his best, but it wasn't like he was a turnover machine. Nope. It wasn't like he was awful. He just didn't play as much. Let's see how the next couple of games go. Again, remember, folks, the next couple of games are LA on Saturday, Anaheim on Sunday, Chicago on Tuesday, and that will wrap up the road trip. A guy that was excellent in this game was Pavel Zacha, speaking of center. Zacha up there with DeBrusk on the left and Pastrnak on the right. I thought the line was pretty good. Pastrnak, again, wasn't as noticeable, and then he gets his goal, whatever. But Zacha was definitely noticeable, definitely almost dominant, but yet no points in this game. 4 shots on goal that he had in this one, another attempt. He ended up being 7 for 7 in the faceoff circle. But I just thought it was his overall effort, his speed, his retrieval of pucks, his handling of pucks that was very, very noticeable. And it just feels like, yes, it's early, but it feels like he's on a mission to say, I'm a 1, meaning I'm your number 1 center.
Yeah, and underneath the puck, above the puck, his hockey sense is really good, and he's so powerful. He could play like that and not get any points all season long, and that would be a really effective season. That's how good he was away from the puck, how good he was defensively, how well he set up and went and got the puck. He was the one getting the puck. As a centerman, he was playing defense, but he was also the one retrieving pucks for that line on a consistent basis every time over the boards. He had a really nice game. He was dominant. He really was. And there was no match from San Jose for him.
No, none. He played 18 minutes and 15 seconds. Jake DeBrusk played 19:03. Pastrnak 18:09. Pastrnak had 5 shots on goal. DeBrusk had 3 shots on goal. And Zacha had 4. So that's a 12 shot on goal line.
Pretty good line.
Only one power play,
the
too.
Analytics must be that line now that you say all that.
Yeah, I haven't pulled it up, but
No,
you're right.
It's way too late.
But only one power play that didn't even last a full 2 minutes for the Bruins.
Right.
So 3 penalties. Are they taking too many penalties? Yes. Why are they taking so many penalties? I guess that is the question. You come from a 7-shorty situation against Nashville, and you had 3 more in this game. You had a Coyle stick infraction,
the hook
a trip,
on Marshy at the end,
and a hook there, which was not a great one at the end there.
He should have been an empty netter.
Yeah.
He turned
so
it
see, to me, stick infractions like that are mental. They are to me as a analyst and teaching hockey and what like that. You're reaching instead of skating up to it. Look, you're going to have those uh-ohs where you end up having your stick out and they step on it. But these were both a trip and they were a hook. That's because it's reach. It's where you put yourself, your position. And the Bruins, you know what? They've been fortunate so far, in my eyes, because you get a hot team coming in on the power play. You're down. That's 2 goals right there. Most likely you've given up.
Correct. So the good news is they went from 7 to 3. The bad news is they've taken 10 penalty kills in the last 2 games alone. So that's way too many. Probably 6 too many, 5 too many. 2.5 a game. You can manage.
They took 3 in the first game too. So that's 13 times shorthanded in the first 3 games.
Yeah, you can't be shorthanded 4 or 5 times in LA Saturday night and think you're gonna win 3-1, right? You're gonna give up goals at some point. So no, it's something that has to be cleaned up. I think it's a product of them trying. They need to play a little bit quicker at times, and they just need to get on in the body a little bit more rather than that reach.
Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor is brought to you by Berkshire Bank. It's also brought to you by Fazenda Coffee and Apex Entertainment. FazendaCoffee.com is the place to go to check out all of the offerings that Fazenda has, and they've got some great offerings. They've got the Morning Brew Blend, which is, tremendous offering. Go try that one out. But then they've got everything from French roast to double espressos to midnight blue. I mean, they got so many different things. Try it out. Go to FazendaCoffee.com/morningbrew, and that will take you directly to the Morning Brew page where they've got the coffee, but also our Clean Canteen travel tumblers. They are beautiful. They are really, really good. Sophia had brought hers in.
I was going to say, endorsed by Sophia.
Yes, she loves it. Keeps everything hot, or if you want to keep it cold, it keeps it cold too. Check out FazendaCoffee.com. They are tremendous people. They are Boston's boutique coffee roaster, and they are awesome. You can find them at Whole Foods too, where they sell their products. Apex Entertainment, you can find them in Marlboro. It's located right off Route 495 on Route 20 up there. It's 100,000 square feet of pure fun all the time for all ages. Perfect weather. It's supposed to be shit weather this weekend coming up. Shocker in Boston. Again, Saturday, Sunday. But you know what? Go there. Go to Apex Entertainment. Perfect location for fun, for just to get out and play some games, a birthday party, a corporate event. ApexEntertainment.com. Go check that out and check them out. Again, it's in Marlboro. Speaking of checking out, the goaltending continues to check out. Linus Ullmark. I thought, I should have it in front of me. I just clicked away from it. Sorry. The actual shots on goal were 27 for the San Jose Sharks. I thought there were some pretty good chances from San Jose, and that he made again look very easy. He has found, at least in my eyes, the early season rhythm already, Razor.
He has. He really has. And I agree. Again, they don't have any game breakers over there, right? There's no David Pasternaks. There's no Austin Matthews. There's no one that's breaking the game open, but they did a really good job of creating chaos in front of the net. They had a bunch of point shots that were getting tipped, that had traffic. And Linus was real solid in all of that. No rebounds, smothering really well, using his pads, using his feet, using his stick to clear rebounds to the corner. It was just real solid. 1-on-27 after a 1-on-21 just 8 days ago. So it's really as good as it gets. And there's no question the Bruins' strength is goal.
One of the things that Jim Montgomery spoke to Brick about quickly after the game, and it was quick. It was a 1-minute interview. I think the Bruins wanted to get out because of the airport curfew in San Jose at 11:30. But regardless of that, about being more consistent in a couple of areas. And the first one, he said, is the rush defense. Want to be firmer and harder to get chances against. this is where the Bruins, they've given up some already in this early part of the season. Yes, the goalies have come through for them. And, you give up a rush chance, or at least you allow somebody off the rush to get into the zone. It pushes your defense back. It allows for opportunities. You mentioned getting traffic in front. Well, if you push the opponent back based off of a good rush attack raiser, and the Bruins don't defend it as well, that opens up the opponent's D-men because your guys are pushed back. The Bruins need to be better in this area. And it's still deciphering. I mean, you only have one new defenseman, and it's not all on the D, but it seems like they're not always picking up the right mark. It just seems like they're not always in the right spot. Early season, though, but it's interesting that, it's already the number one thing that Jim Montgomery wants made better.
Yeah, it has to be from the D pinching into the zone as well, right? Like, it has to be them trying to shrink the zone and the D getting in on the offense. And then, okay, now the back check's a little wonky because if you're a forward and you're the high forward, you're the second man back. So you're going all the way in, and then the D's coming all the way in. So you're almost over back pressuring after you get in on the rush. So I think there's a bit of sorting out, a little communication with some of the newer forwards as well, that where they're supposed to go and how they're supposed to play back into the zone. And it's a work in progress. Again, they've been fortunate to have the schedule they've had to be able to lean into this and win. And Brad said it. It's nice to win while you're learning these things and while you're working on things. That's as good as it gets in the National Hockey League. As long as you're able to recognize that, which I think the Bruins have and do, then they'll only get better. But certainly sorting out coverage, it seems. It's pretty noticeable.
Yeah,
I think at times that it doesn't look the same as it has before.
Do you think we see any lineup changes for Saturday night? You got 2 extras right now, 3 actually, but Danton Heinen is not signed, that are on the road. But you've got Brown as a forward, center right wing, and you've got Mitchell as a defenseman.
Lauko stands out to me because he only played 8:56, and he was 3 or 4 minutes less. Luch played 12:12. I could see that, just that number under 10 stood out to me tonight. Why he didn't play more than that? There wasn't power plays, there wasn't penalty kill. Maybe something like, so maybe he comes out and Brownie goes in.
Maybe I could see that, but I think the D remains the same, and then I could see Mitchell coming in on Sunday, although you're going
Shaddy goes
back to Anaheim. I'm thinking out loud here as I realize I don't know if I see that happening.
No, probably not. He's got to have to
Mitchell
play that
going
game
back to Chicago, where he played parts of 2-3 seasons.
That could happen.
They could happen. Put him in there. He's a good kid. I talked to him the other day. He's thrilled to be here. Amazingly happy to be playing again under Jim Montgomery as coach at college that he had at Denver. He's ready, meaning but he understands too. He understands especially how good this D crew is compared to where he came from. So he gets it. So actually, thinking out loud here, I see him coming back in. Injuries not being the factor for the Chicago series or Chicago game, and I do agree that you could see. I think you'll see Brown either Saturday or Sunday.
Yes, yeah. I believe so as well. I think you need to get guys in. You don't want them to go all the way out west and no one plays again. The extra guys. So there'll be a lineup change. So I would assume they change the lines up a little bit.
Okay, that's where I was going to go to though before we wrap it up. But do you really want to change up you're not going to change up the Coyle line.
No.
Okay. So that's Van Riemsdyk, Coyle, and Frederick. I'm not sure you're going to change up the Zacha line yet. I'm not, unless.
Well, you can't, because if you're not gonna change the Coyle line, then you can't put DeBrusk back with Poitras and Marchand and then move Geekie over on the left.
Right,
with Zacha.
correct.
Like, you can't really do that either. So you're kind of stuck.
I'm not sure if you are going to see lines changed for Saturday. I'm going to be very curious if they're going to.
And the guys kind of said, like, there's a lot of line changes, trying to find chemistry. It sounded almost like Brad wants to play with somebody for a little while.
Let's give it a little time here.
And Brad's been playing with number 37 for 8 years, and now he's got two different centers in 3 games.
Bingo.
Right? It sounded like he wants to have his guy, whoever it is.
Right, whomever it is, and to try and give him a chance to get chemistry.
Yeah.
If you have a day off in L.A., where are you going?
Ooh, mama. Can you play golf? Can we play?
Sure.
Can we go play Riviera or Trump National. That'd be really nice. I've done those before.
You're renting clubs, but that's fine.
Yeah. You're just hanging out, getting in some seaside breeze. Guys would definitely hit Beverly Hills for a little shopping at times, just to walk around Rodeo and all those areas. Manhattan Beach, depends on where you're staying too. If you can get out to the beach, they're probably downtown at Staples, so that changes things a little, but it's always great to get to the beach.
It is. So they're gonna dart out of San Jose, get down to L.A. It's not a long flight, but again, they got to beat the curfew. They will. They'll get down. They'll have the day in L.A., and then they got back-to-backs. So Saturday and Sunday. Saturday in L.A., Sunday in Anaheim. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I would try to play some golf, or I would do the Manhattan Beach thing, and I would try and find a place where I got my shorts, a pair of flips on, and a little kind of oceanside cafe.
Fish tacos for lunch.
Exactly. I'm skipping breakfast, going right to lunch, and enjoying that. Speaking of enjoying, I've enjoyed this short morning brew with you. This is going to wrap it up. Listen up, folks. Razor and I are coming back with our next brew after Tuesday's game in Chicago. Okay? So, again, one more time. We are not doing a brew after Saturday's game and Sunday's game. Razor's got something big going on Sunday.
I got a big weekend. Big weekend.
He has a biggie going, and I don't really want to put him in a position to have to talk after hanging out with all of his buddies that come in from out of town, and I don't know if the gibberish would make sense. Yeah. So anyways, we are going to pass on Saturday's game, Sunday's game as well. We'll be back with you though after Tuesday's game against the Chicago Blackhawks with the next morning brew with Jaffe and Razor. Everybody enjoy it. Your team is now 3-0 on the season after they beat the San Jose Sharks 3-1 in San Jose. And because we're not going to be around for a couple of days, have a couple of extra coffees to enjoy the extra time.